Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast network.
You are listening to the FinFans podcast, where we discuss everything Miami Dolphins. It's the off season, and we're looking forward to a fresh new start under different management in 2026. We hope you'll join us and enjoy the show. And it's another FinFans podcast. I'm here with Chris Ragone.
What's going on, FinFans? What's going on, fellas?
Not much. Just starting to get excited. We're getting closer to preseason games.
There is actually a game going on as we are recording this podcast. Yep. You know, we got the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. What a heavyweight fight there. The first game.
And with us also is Matt Mariani.
Hey, FinFans. Yeah, it is exciting times. I got the game on right now. I'm watching Carson Beck. He just aired it out for his second deep pass in the second game. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. And he's facing Kenny Pickett right now. How you not get excited about Carson Beck versus Kenny Pickett? Okay, we got some football.
Okay. Yeah, we're back. Sounds like a regular Thursday night game, right?
It does.
So guess what, guys?
What's going on?
The Finns actually had interest in Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I read that report.
Well, Adam Schefter put it out. It's probably credible.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how serious they were about that, but I think he'd be like the complete opposite of the type of people we should be bringing in, just in my opinion. I mean, as far as a teammate, I know his fellow teammates love him, and, you know, I've heard he's one of the hardest working guys in the NFL, but, you know, unfortunately, a lot like the guy we just got rid of, you know, has all the talent in the world, but the type of headaches that they bring is just, you know, like I said, when you're trying to completely shift the culture, you did the whole rebuild, you know, I'm sure they looked, I mean, and I think he's got some allegations or cases open that are pending right now. So, like I said, the last type of guy you want to bring to Miami, but I mean, he is still a hell of a player, and he proved that with the Pats last year, even coming off an ACL injury.
Yeah, there's no doubting his talent. He's very talented.
When you look at the wide receiver room, it makes sense why they gave him a call. But
for sure,
I'm perfectly fine with him signing with Washington. It's fine not bringing him in. Let's give the young guys a chance. But I do feel bad for Malik Willis that this is the wide receiver room that he has to go into his make or break season. This season's probably going to define Malik Willis's career, and he's got to do it with Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, Malik Washington, Chris Bell, and Caleb Douglas as his wide receivers. So that sucks for Malik. But again, like I said, it sucks for Malik, but for where the state of the team is right now, I'm perfectly fine that Stephon Diggs chose Washington over Miami, and we're going to go with the younger guys.
Yeah, and I've been reading some good things about Caleb Douglas, surprisingly.
Yeah, me too.
I've read some good things about him. Gosh, I can't think of the slot receiver.
Well, I can tell you that they've been touting Malik Washington becoming a better route runner.
Mm-hmm. No, it was, I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. It'll pop in. But it's the third wide receiver we drafted. I saw a video of Chris Bell actually too running a deep pattern. He looked like he was running almost at full speed, so that was good. Kevin Coleman. I've been reading some good things about him. He's been looking sharp. So, you know, it's like we're looking at this room right now because there's so much unproven. But, you know, who knows? Maybe a couple of these guys actually step up. And, you know, a lot like how Green Bay's wide receiver room was put together, you know, they have these guys that weren't really, you know, highly scouted coming out of college. But, you know, the guys make plays. So, you know, hopefully we can find a few guys like that and, you know, help Malik make some plays. And to hear that Malik Washington's having a really good camp, you know, I think that, you know, he's going to be another guy who can have a big season. You know, he's definitely going to get a lot of targets.
The Green Bay front office has a track record for knowing wide receivers and finding diamonds in the rough. So maybe Sullivan knows his way around a wide receiver and knows what to look for.
Well, I think they need to find a right tackle in the rough.
Man, did that not happen as fast as we thought it would? I mean, when I read that the other day, I'm like, here we go.
Shocker.
And I think Hafley came out and said, he still has no plans to move our first pick over from left guard to right tackle, which, I'm okay with. If they want to just rock him at left guard for his whole first year and see what he's got there, I'm all for it. I was definitely a little skeptical at first, but I'm trying not to let the PTSD from the last regime, taint my feelings and thoughts on this regime. So, we have to trust the process, as we've been hearing for a long time. And, that's just what I'm going to do with that.
Well, we've trusted a lot of processes that haven't worked. But,
yeah. And go ahead.
No, I think that, what they're doing makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a problem with the direction they're going there. I think you put them in there, you let them get comfortable there, you teach them one position, you don't overburden them, and you figure out another way to solve your problem.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, teams will be having to get down to 53. I'm sure there'll be a tackle or two out there.
I sure hope so, Mike, for Malik Willis's sake.
Yep. Doesn't mean they'll be good, but they'll be out there.
Yeah. And, I heard you guys talk about it on the last week's show with Lou, how Proctor's been looking good. He's been mauling guys. That I heard Matt was talking about it, that from center to the left tackle, that's probably our strongest, couple guys. And I agree with that. And, it'll be fun to see, them protect his blind side and us running to the left. But, if Austin Jackson's out for any extended period of time, I read Charlie Heck was just getting, absolutely manhandled. So we're definitely going to need another swing tackle or somebody, hopefully Jackson's injury ain't nothing serious, but given his track record, we've been saying this all offseason, you definitely have to have a plan B because, and he's already banged up. So,
yeah, they keep asking what the heck he's doing. Nobody has answers. All right, so we did get some news this week. Daniel Silman was promoted to CEO. He's married to Ross's daughter, Kimberly.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Tom Garfinkel is stepping down as former president and CEO. His new role is chairman of the team at Hard Rock Stadium. Silman will oversee Brendan Shore, who's the capologist, and John Eric Sullivan. And, of course, Hafley reports to John.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty typical structure now in the front office.
Yeah. Adam Schefter used a choice of words that definitely had me chuckling a little bit. He said he's stepping down after 13 transformational years. And I'm assuming he's talking about the F1 and the U.S. Open
Miami
and
Open,
all that.
Sure.
Because it ain't about the team. The team's been in the same place. I mean, we had a couple
stadium reconstruction.
Yeah, the stadium reconstruction. But as far as the team, we still haven't won a playoff game. We are the longest drought in professional sports since we've had a playoff win.
But that wasn't his area of responsibility.
No, not necessarily, but still, it's like that's part of it. It's like, yeah, that's nice that we got a new stadium and that they're doing F1 and US Open and all the other things like I just named. But, if you're still not putting together a good product on the field, it's Miami, I don't know. It was just funny to me when I read that.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like all the stuff at Hard Rock Stadium, Ross and Garfinkel, you got to say they did a great job, like bringing in the F1, all the exciting stuff that happens there. The stadium's beautiful, the renovation, that's all great. But these guys can't put a winner on the field to save their lives. I didn't know he hired his son-in-law. Great. All right. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, that his daughters are taking ownership of the team when he passes.
Well, come on.
So it all makes sense.
Just be in the owner's booth and have a good time. Why do you got to have an official role where people answer to you and like you don't know what you're doing? You're not a football guy. Like,
he's been involved for the last decade or so.
Yeah, and that says a lot if he's been involved for the last decade, because we've done so much winning in the last decade.
Well, I didn't say he was a boss. I said he was involved.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully he's learned, though, in all seriousness. And, at the end of the day, I feel like that's the deal with a lot of these NFL franchises, especially with them being pretty much the most valued franchises out of professional sports for the most part. I mean, the Dolphins, when you look at the Cowboys with Jerry Jones and how his son's kind of helping run the show, it happens all across the league. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. Like I said, I just hope that he has seen what has taken place this past decade that he's been around, and now. But I think, they've started taking the right steps with Sullivan and Halfley. I think those two guys are helping change the culture. Let's hope that Sullivan's draft picks, are, they pan out this year. I don't think any of us are expecting us to have, any Pro Bowl or All-Pro type players, but who knows? Maybe they are. Maybe, a couple of them turn into solid starters, because you don't need to hit a home run on every pick, but, you definitely need to find the Robert Hunts, the Christian Wilkinses, like those type of guys that we've drafted, the guys that kind of have panned out, even though, they ended up playing elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, I like we've talked about it all offseason. I like the direction that we're going. I think come next offseason, when we got some money to work with and we see the type of moves he makes, we'll be able to judge him, have a better judgment on him even more. So, I think they're taking steps in the right direction. We just, we got to see how it all pans out.
All right, what we're going to do is we're going to take a step back for just a couple minutes, and we'll be right back.
Meet Keith, loving dad, board game champ, bus driving pro.
I drive 65,000 miles in my bus each year. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like how there are some things I simply can't see. On my route the other day, a car tried to sneak past me and ends up right in my blind spot. I turned slowly, so accident avoided. But no car should be in the blind spot for a 40,000-pound bus. It's our roads. It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Can we talk about Austin Jackson?
Yes, I don't think we gave the specifics, though. So if you have those, we could definitely.
Well, the injury is undisclosed, so no, there is no real specifics. But I wanted to add Kevin Coleman Jr. and Ben Sims are also sitting out. Dulcich returned to practice wearing a non-contact jersey, and he had his right hand bandaged up. Jamari Sawyer, one of the team's top backup offensive linemen, missed his fourth straight practice. Dante Trader, the lone projected starter in the safety position group, and Lonnie Johnson Jr., the veteran safety who has the most experience, were both sidelined by undisclosed injuries. How long they'll be out is unclear, but their absence leaves veterans Zane Anderson, Omar Brown, Major Burns, the former UFL player, and rookies Michael Taff and Lewis Moore as the only safeties working during the start of the second week.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis Moore is somebody that I'm definitely excited about, and I've read some pretty good things about. It's just a couple days into camp, but you got to like the stuff that you're reading about him. And I think with our lack of experience at that safety position, I think it's anybody's job to earn. I mean, I think Dante Trader, is one of the sides. You would like to think that he has one of the sides on lock, but who knows? And this is another guy that this regime didn't draft. I'm sure they have an open trial for everybody. So, it's going to be interesting to see that room, how that plays out.
I think Trader and Johnson got to get out there. They're not assured anything. I think Michael Taff is coming for their job week one. Yeah. It sounds like he's out there playing, and his pedigree, even though he was a 5th-round draft pick, he comes from Texas, and everyone says he's got a nose for the game. He's just that type of player. He's got great instincts. He's not the most physically gifted player, but at safety, I feel like you don't have to be the most physically gifted player. I feel like it's more about instincts at safety than it is about that.
Right place at the right time.
Yeah. So, all right. I mean, neither of these guys should feel like they have,
because they will isolate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you've got to have some athletic ability.
Right. But
All
I
the
feel
other-
like nobody in the secondary should feel like they have like their job locked down,
Agreed.
so that they can, like, you know, sit on a sore knee or something. They got to get out there and play. And geez, what do we have? Like one padded practice, and like all these guys went down after one padded practice.
Yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is precautionary. I mean,
Yeah.
when you look around the league at how many guys have already torn ACLs, and like, you know, I've seen quite a few. I mean, and it kind of happens every year. It's just it's sad, man. The first week of the season when they're like Matt just said, barely putting the pads on how many guys actually go down, and it's just, you know, it's wild. I mean, you look over in I live over here in the Bay Area, so all I've been hearing about is all the San Francisco wide receivers who are already banged up. Mike Evans is banged up. Ricky Pearsall, I think he's going into his second or third year. Hasn't
He's
really
done
got
for
to
the year.
Yeah, this is his third year, and he's out for the year again. So it's like, this is a former first round pick that, you know, it's crazy. You know,
His first year, he got shot and missed the season.
Yep. And then last year he was dealing with a knee all year and barely played. I had him on a few fantasy teams, and you know, now, you know, they just did surgery and he's done for the year. So let's just hope that nothing serious happens. You know, I mean, we got to expect guys to get banged up.
There's going to be bumps and bruises.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, we're just holding our breath anytime we see, especially in the cornerback room, which we've had terrible luck with. You know, hopefully everybody can stay healthy, and the guys that are coming back, like Storm Duck, you know, don't have any setbacks. But you know,
When is he coming back? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, they activated him to the PUP just like they did with Chris Bell. So, you know, like I said it a couple weeks ago, it's a little concerning for me given the fact that he got hurt at the beginning of last season. So, you know, for the fact that he's not even really ready to play, it's just, you know, I think I'm not counting Storm Duck out, but I think he's still ways away from getting back. So, you know, we need
They
guys
could be
like
holding him out as a precautionary measure, just giving him more time.
Juju Brents. I'd put him in bubble wrap right now because we're definitely going to need him. You know, I've read some good things with him too, that he looked good. And, you know, when you just see him out there on the field, he's a big corner. He's long, he's fast, got good ball skills. You know, it's just their ability. And with Dulcich too banged up, I mean, you know, hopefully he can get back because that's kind of been his knock, is just him not being able to stay healthy. So
Well, I'm guessing he got a hand tangled up in a helmet or something.
yeah. I mean, those injuries don't tend to linger. So hopefully it's, like I said, nothing serious. They're just taking precaution on some of the stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I know we haven't actually physically been out to camp, but reading the reports, who have you guys been impressed with?
Like I said, Caleb Douglas. I mean, I haven't read reports from every day too. It's just kind of skimming through things. Caleb Douglas has been a surprise for me. Kyle Lewis, like I mentioned earlier, has looked good as a safety. Michael Taff, I've read, has been making plays too. Chop Robinson, they've been raving about, saying that he put on some muscle and that he's just really been setting that edge. And, you know, a couple of the guys, I forgot which pressers I was watching, but some of the offensive line guys, you know, have said that Chop's been really looking good. So that's definitely what we want to hear. Jonah came out and said the other day that he feels a lot better on that right side. He feels way more confident, and that, you know, other players spoke about how he's kind of been mauling too. So, you know, we've been hearing some good things. I mean, Malik Willis is kind of, you know, I've read kind of mixed reviews, but I mean, you know, when you're dealing with a whole new wide receiver group and tight end guys, that, you know, just the receiving core in general, you know, that chemistry is going to take time. You know, when we hear that the defense wins the first couple of days in practice, that's usually how it goes.
Yep.
You know, especially, like I said, with guys who have never played together, it's going to take some time. But, you know, Malik's shown that he can move and make plays. And, you know, I'm excited for it. You know, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Jackson, but with this offensive line with Savania moving over and feeling confident, and, you know, if Proctor can hold his own, you know, I like this line. You know, this line, we're going to be able to run the ball, and, you know, that'll set up play action and, you know, some deep shots, and just, you know, I don't know how the defense is going to be, but I'm sure we're going to be down quite a bit. So these guys are going to have their hands full on offense.
Yeah, they will. I mean, look, you know, we're not putting an all-star team out there, so we all know it's going to be a little rough. But what'll be interesting to see is what is their ceiling? You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's saying 3, 4, 5 games. Is it?
What do you think? What do you think is our ceiling for this year?
I would say 7 games would probably be a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
That's if Willis comes in and plays probably better than we think he's going to.
What about you, Matt? What do you think our ceiling is for this year?
Yeah, almost getting to 500 would be a miracle, but you can't count any NFL team out against from doing that. The NFL is always full of surprises. There's always teams that just kind of shock you. And I think Miami's going to fight this year. What do I think the record's going to be? I think the record's going to be, I think they're going to finish with 4 or 5 wins this year just because of the schedule, the talent that's on the team. But you can never predict injuries. They should be a young, scrappy team. Hopefully they don't give up. We'll see what happens in November and December. To see
most
if
of
they
these
keep
guys
fighting.
are fighting for their contracts.
Right, yeah. Like I said, Malik Willis, like this is a year that like his whole career is like dependent on how he is this year. So he's going out there and he's going to try to win. He's going to try to play because if he's not successful in Miami in these next 2 years, I don't see him starting anywhere in the NFL for the rest of his career. So they're going to be trying to win.
I don't know that I would say that because of the circumstance.
I think this is his last shot. This is the third team that he's been on. He's never really had any major success anywhere. He had semi-success in Green Bay as a backup, where Matt LaFleur was kind of holding his hand the entire time. He's never really proven he can be a franchise quarterback, and this is kind of his shot to do it. So I don't know if he can't prove that he can be a franchise quarterback in Miami. I don't know who's going to take a shot on him next, because this is Sullivan and Halfley are 2 guys who know him, and they're kind of giving him this shot. Who's going to give him a shot if he fails in Miami, right?
They know him, but are they giving him a shot as a bridge quarterback, or are they giving him a shot at the franchise quarterback, or are they just waiting to see what he does with the opportunity?
Yeah, I think they're giving him a legitimate shot to be the franchise quarterback. It sucks that this is his wide receiver crew. I think they did a decent job of putting an offensive line in front of him and a run game, but I mean, it sucks that this is his wide receiver crew. But maybe, like I said, maybe Caleb Douglas is going to surprise us. Maybe Chris Bell.
Let's look at the offensive line for a second. Jonah last year was the worst guard in football. Okay, so
right.
You're giving him that, and you're giving him Austin Jackson, who can't stay on the field, which means there's probably going to be somebody else playing that position.
Let me
not
ask
nearly
you
as
this.
talented.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Jonah is going to be in the worst guard in the NFL in 2026?
Probably not.
I don't
I
think
hope
so.
not.
I think he'll be somewhere around maybe in the bottom half, or maybe, at
That's
50.
what I would think.
Yeah, I mean,
We expect
I think
him
he
to
definitely
improve. He's going to be bigger and stronger.
Worse. Yeah.
He can't be any worse than he was last year.
He can't be, but I think he is the type of guy that really worked at what his coaches said he needed to work at, and him sliding back into his natural position at right guard, I think should definitely help. So
let us remember the cautionary tale of Liam Eichenberg, who always managed to do worse the next year.
Yeah, but to Liam's defense, they moved him from center to tackle to guard. He never really. I don't think that they have.
I saw him selling hot dogs.
We said Liam Eichenberg can't be any worse than he was last year, and every year he was worse.
No, but I think Sinai is a different player. He's a bigger guy, and I just think, I just don't think that was the perfect opportunity for him last year. He's coming in this year. He's going to be on the right side. I expect him to be better. How much better remains to be seen.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They got good blockers up front on paper.
But it's still a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I think we got a middle-of-the-pack offensive line, especially if Austin Jackson plays. But there we go. Can we count on that? Probably not.
That's it. So I think the right side of the line is going to be somewhat of a liability.
Probably Charlie Heck out there for most games.
God, I hope not. I mean, if he's getting dominated by our edge group in training camp so far, I don't even want to see him against the Myles Garretts and those type of guys. And we have a hell of a schedule that we got a hell of a gauntlet of a schedule we got this year. So we're going to be playing some talented fronts, and like Matt said, it kind of sucks that this is Malik's shot, but when you look around the league and you see the Sam Darnolds of the world, the Bakers, who pretty much everybody casted to the side and didn't think that, like Matt was just saying, like they're not going to be franchise quarterbacks. Both of them have kind of, emerged late. We saw Geno Smith. Yeah, we saw Geno Smith do it with Seattle a couple years back.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I'm just hoping that, and I agree with what both of you guys said as far as our ceiling. I mean, I think if we win 7 games, I'll be amazed with the schedule that we have. I mean, like you said, things do change from year to year, but barring injury, I mean, when you look at our schedule, I think that we'll be lucky to win 3 or 4 games. So if we somehow pull off 7, I'd be like, wow.
Well, I said 7 would be the ceiling.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They probably hit 5.
Yeah.
If they get to 7, give Jeff Halfley Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The only reason I say that is not because I think they'll be as good as a 7-win team might be, but when you go through the schedule, we're looking at it and we're saying, oh my God, this is ridiculously tough.
No, for sure.
But once a quarterback or two goes down and you happen to be playing them that week, then it changes the script a little bit.
Yep.
So I'm assuming over 17 games, they're going to have some breaks go their way and maybe win a couple of games we're not thinking they're going to win. All right, guys, we're going to break for a few moments and we'll be right back. Hey, guys, this is Mike again, breaking in for a second just to ask a favor of you. We would like to request that you go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review and rate the show. Let us know how we're doing. We'd very much appreciate it. Thank you, and fins up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That usually happens. That's usually the case.
Yeah, so, that's where I get the 7 from. But we'll see. They could just as easily win 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have 1 game this year where they just shock somebody. They're going to be double-digit underdogs and just surprise the hell out of you for 1 week. Just because that's what happens in the NFL. It happens all the time.
Get a couple of peanut punch fumbles and get a defensive score or two, and weirder things have happened.
Definitely.
So Willie Gay Jr., does he become a starter?
Nope.
No, definitely
Every year
not. I mean, I read Dotson got banged up, and Jacob Rodriguez has stepped in there, but I don't even know if Willie Gay Jr. makes the team, and I really like the guy. I like what he brings. I like his play. He has that Super Bowl winning experience too, which is always helpful when you're trying to create this new culture and stuff like that. But I just think that inside linebacker is our deepest group on the team. So to crack a starting job, let alone crack the team, is going to be rough.
So
you got to let the young guys get the snaps if they become available. Like, it's got to go to Jacob Rodriguez. It's got to go to Kyle Lewis before it goes to Willie Gay. I love Willie Gay. I love what he brings. I love the energy. But he's a training camp machine. He tends to be a liability in actual game scenarios. He's pretty slow. And he's getting old, so let's call it what it is. We got 2 pretty talented young guys in Kyle Lewis and Jacob Rodriguez who are behind our linebackers. If somebody gets hurt, if Tyrell Dotson gets hurt, those guys got to play. Those are the guys that got to get in,
Trey Moore.
Not Willie Gay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the roster and you're looking to see where the surprises might be, and that could be one of them. I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. What's going to happen with the safety room, guys?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I think, like I said, Dante Trader probably, you would think he would have some type of lock, but, I think it's going to be completely open for competition. And, I'll be watching very closely in these preseason games to see how these guys are moving. Yeah. And, you can't judge them solely off of these preseason games, but, especially when a lot of the guys are younger, you want to see how they're playing and competing against.
I think they brought in Lonnie Johnson to be kind of a steady head in the back of the secondary, somebody with a little bit of experience, even though he's not like this, he's never been like a big time caliber safety in the league, but he's got a lot of experience, and that kind of gives him the head up on just about everybody else in the secondary. So you got to think he's got a leg up on everyone else. And Dante Trader's going into this is his third year, so he's got to have a leg up on Michael Taff. But hey, I've been hyping up Michael Taff. I keep hearing his name every single day. That's a good thing from a safety when you're hearing their name every single day.
Sure.
And he's making plays, and he's getting in there, and he's making an impact almost at every single practice. And he was a great college player, known for making impact plays.
Mm-hmm.
That's eventually going to add up, and that's going to stand out. And you got to think they're eventually going to go with him. He's going to push for a starting job, and he might have it week 1, especially if Trader and Johnson miss time.
Yeah, I compare him kind of like to a Glenn Blackwood.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys remember him.
I don't. I know who he is, but that was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, not me. When did he play?
Forget it. He played in the 80s. But he was maybe not your most athletic safety, but he had a knack for being where he was supposed to be. He had a knack for making big plays.
That's what you want from your safety.
Yep.
Hey, we had another 5th round safety, and I know they're very different players, but we had another 5th round safety, Rashad Jones, who had an excellent career for the Miami Dolphins. So
absolutely. But I think he might have been a little bit more athletic than half.
And he was a strong safety who'd get in there. He was more known for like popping the run game and that kind of stuff. But Rashad was great, and he was a 5th round pick. That's my only point. Is that Taff was a 5th round pick. You can find guys in the 5th round. It's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Riley Patterson so far has not had the best showing.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to say that.
He missed a couple of kicks that he probably should have made, kicks inside 50 yards, and missed a couple over 50. But, anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think
Gonzalez right now is out kicking him.
Yeah, that's probably the
Zane
13th
hasn't been much
thing
better, though,
on the list that we have to worry about.
Yep, it's always amusing.
Yeah. I mean, he was good. He was really good for us last
He
year.
was excellent.
They said yesterday, Zane Gonzalez went 2 for 3 on field goals, and Riley Patterson went 1 for 3.
Right.
Why are they only kicking 6 field goals throughout a whole practice between the two of them?
It depends on the day. They may have been doing red zone.
Yeah, or they're doing situational stuff.
Yeah.
They should be doing nothing but kicking.
Tutu Atwell, what do you guys make of him?
He stinks.
Damn, man.
I don't think so, man. I think Tutu's kind of like a one-trick pony, but I think he can bring something to the table for us. I mean, he didn't get very much play time last year because they acquired Devontae Adams, but the couple years prior to that, he hit some home runs, and that's just what he is. He's a guy you line up on the outside. He's a small dude, but he can fly. He's got decent hands. I expect him to catch a couple long touchdowns. I don't think he's going to crack the starting rotation, but I think he's a guy who can be good as a 4th, 5th guy coming off the bench. But yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting anything crazy from Tutu. I'm expecting to see a lot of the young guys.
Yeah,
I'm not drafting him to my fantasy team this year.
Yeah, no,
sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely not doing that. I don't know if I'm drafting any Dolphins wide receivers to my fantasy team.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. Maybe Washington.
Yeah,
maybe. A late player.
Yeah. I got something that I wanted to talk about, and I want to give props to Hafley for getting, or not Hafley, Sullivan for getting the deal done. Because when you look at Jonathan Taylor, who got paid this morning, Jahmyr Gibbs, who got paid today, when you look at Bijan Robinson, who just got paid, the Achane contract is looking, like a pretty good value. And I wouldn't. We have different opinions on it. I know Lou thinks that Achane's just as good as any of those guys. I think that Achane is kind of the next level down, but not far off on the Jahmyr Gibbs and the Bijan Robinsons. But I just think that those guys have a little bit bigger frames that are, kind of it's just better to have more solid guys. I mean, with Achane, it's like if he you just don't want him to get hit, and he's very good at avoiding hits and not taking unnecessary hits. But that contract is looking like a value right now compared to what these guys are making. So I'm happy that Sully got the deal done early, and that's not something that's looming into training camp and we're like, oh my God, are we going to be without our best player, not just on offense, but probably on the team in general. So
I think if you're starting to list backs and you're fair about it, he probably comes in about 6th or 7th.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And, if he has another year like he did last year, he's top 5. I think he's got the talent. It's just about, his surroundings, I think this year is going to be a little bit different because I think teams are just going to be solely keying in on him. And, even him coming out of the backfield, they're going to always have somebody on him. So it's going to be interesting to see how he produces this year with, Waddle gone. Tyreek was out, I think, week 6. So, it's going to be interesting.
Like I just said, until they prove they can throw the ball, they're going to stack the box.
Yeah, I agree.
Regardless of what you think of Achane, it's just good to get out in front of these contracts. Look at when Greer, throughout his entire tenure, every year there was controversy going into training camp. Is this guy going to get paid? Is this guy going to get paid? Is this guy going to get paid? And we lost every single one of them. Finally, the Dolphins have a culture of we're taking care of our guys who deserve it. And the players see that. So, good on Sullivan for...
Well, they took care of the guys, but those weren't the guys that deserved it. That's the problem.
No, who did they didn't take care of any other homegrown talent. They let Wilkins walk.
I didn't say homegrown now. I didn't say
they let Jalen Phillips walk. Every single guy they drafted. Yeah, every single guy they drafted, just so that they could go trade and pay some big mercenary like Jalen Ramsey, who would come in and not give a shit and show up late.
Renegotiating contracts and just doing silly stuff.
So that's what I'm giving Sullivan props for right now, is that he's sending that message loud and clear to the locker room. If you do well, the Miami Dolphins are going to take care of you. And I love that. I love that.
I do as well.
That's the message that every team should send.
Yeah, right. But, we've seen it firsthand. Like Matt just said, that's not always the case. So, it's, I talked about that a little bit on the last show that I was on. It's just good. It's good business. Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer, all these guys that we signed, who those two guys aren't necessarily homegrown, but, they've came in and they've been real, culture setters, and they've produced. They're both coming off all pro seasons, so
Brooks came out on a prove-it contract, and he did.
They were both good value signings, and they earned those extensions, and they got them, and good for them.
Yeah.
No, I have no problem with that. I mean, look, Brooks is probably our best player on defense.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much argument there. Maybe Sealer, one of the two of them, but I would probably lean towards Brooks just because of the position he plays. On offense, Achane is our best player, and who else is close? Nobody.
Yeah.
At least not yet. Maybe one of the linemen will be. Patrick Paul is still growing, and obviously Proctor is just a rookie. So we'll see what happens with them. But I expect good things from the both of them. And you've got, the center, Brewer. So, who do you pick? Obviously it's Achane.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Anything else?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Next week, we got a preseason game on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're a week away.
Play Washington,
who do you think's going to play? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm definitely interested to see if Willis gets any snaps. And
I don't think he's gonna.
Achane, I don't really care if he's getting snaps or not, but I would like to see Willis get a few snaps, maybe a drive or two.
I'd play him.
But, he needs every rep counts right now, especially when you're building that rapport with, this new team. So
if he doesn't get beat up in the inter-squad scrimmage, I would play him.
Yeah. So
that would just depend on what happens there. But my goal would be to play him, I think, and not long, just a couple of series. Get get his feet wet, get everybody used to his cadence under fire, you know, and take it from there.
Are we going to do joint practices with Washington before the game?
I believe there's one, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. There is as well.
Yeah. Whereas last year they did 2 before each opponent. They're only doing 1 this year.
All right.
Except for Atlanta. They're not scrimmaging against Atlanta. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week. And until then, fins up.
Fins up.
Yeah, fins up. 1 week to go.
And that's the end of another show. I want to thank the Believe Network for allowing us to join them this year, and the Dolphins Talk Network, who we've been a part of for many years. I want to thank both of these outfits. They're exceptional people, and we're proud and honored just to be a part of it. Until next time, take care.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.